Hello and welcome to Dragons,
Unicorns,
and Other Creative Creatures. I'm Dr. Kevin.
I'm Rona Gofstein.
And we are doing the first of a two-part show, which is Arts in Curaçao.
Arts in Curaçao. And why are we doing Arts in Curaçao?
Well, I don't know. Somebody just finished getting back from Curaçao, from their honeymoon.
Which wasn't your original destination.
No.
Wasn't going to be your original destination.
Nope.
Yeah.
We originally were going to go to the DV resorts in St. Croix, and then all the hurricanes hit.
It was bad.
And the funny thing is, the resort we were staying at was on the side of the island that didn't get hurt that bad. In fact, I was reading on it, and it said, we've lost a few shutters. That was it.
But
so then we got the notice back in November that we had to rebook because the airport wouldn't be open and the island itself was not going to be able to support
so the hotel,
tourism.
yes, but the
Island
rest of
was-
things.
Yeah, so bless you.
Thank you. That was the first.
So anyways, we went to...
Thank goodness they gave you enough notice.
well, yeah, because, the honeymoon was a wedding gift from my mother-in-law. And so she had booked us into an all-inclusive resort in St. Croix. We did a little cost sharing, but she paid for the most of it. And so, because I insisted on all-inclusive.
You know what, when you go, the last thing you want to be thinking of is, what is this costing and what's my bill going to be at the end? And yeah, no, all-inclusive is wonderful. Even if it feels like more upfront, I think the stress that it relieves and all that is lovely.
Well, the funny thing is, and, people want to think about this when they travel, because, I'm a timeshare kid.
Okay.
I've got tons of timeshare points. I've had timeshares for 20 years now, or more. And I am one of those people that, for a long time, used all my timeshare points. They've built up a little bit in the last couple of years as I've become a little more stationary in my life. But you use a timeshare so that you can, have access to a kitchen and, more space and,
Just a little homier, a little less, not...
It's more than a single room.
Yes.
Especially good if you're traveling with family because you can get a 2-bedroom, a 3-bedroom, whatever.
Yes.
And now you can get resorts that will have like mini kitchens so you can make breakfast and stuff like that.
Which can be nice.
And so one of the things that happened was when we were looking to go for the honeymoon, my mother-in-law, had a couple places picked out that were kind of, there was a price range for the honeymoon.
Okay,
which is acceptable.
Sure.
And said, well, they have kitchens, you can do this. And Jeff and I had just one conversation about it. I love my husband. The conversation went like this. Like, honey, we know who's going to do all the cooking, and we know that there'll be a dishwasher. So we know that by the third or fourth day when I have cooked 1 or 2 meals, because we're trying to save money, and we just think it's easier when we have to go out and buy groceries and stuff like that, and you're sitting out there while the dishwasher is washing the dishes after I spent an hour cooking, and you're sitting there, on the beach and stuff like this, we know that I'm going to get progressively uglier. And
Which you don't want on a honeymoon. Now, you want it any time, but definitely not on the...
And by the end of the honeymoon, you're going to be glad that we're leaving because I will be so ugly that I spent half my honeymoon cooking. So we're going to an all-inclusive resort, so we don't have to worry about money. So we're not saying, oh my God, can we spent so much. Now we have to try to, I said, we're not doing that.
You're not cooking.
And I'm not cooking. And I only had to kind of a conversation once, and
God bless him.
being the wonderful husband he is, he just went, all inclusive. Yes, honey, all inclusive. So, you know, I threw in some extra money to make the all inclusive work.
Good.
But when they called, American Airlines called, it was American Airline vacation. They got me all rebooked. And Curaçao was our second choice.
Okay.
We were between St. Croix and Curaçao, St. Croix and Curaçao.
Apparently nature took care of that question.
Yep, and a good friend of mine who actually has a travel agent's business, and though we didn't use her because I wasn't booking,
Right.
my mother-in-law was booking, and she was booking through American Airline Vacation, but my friend Louise, who has worldwide travel up in Saco, Maine, and she goes way back. I mean, like we were roommates in our early 20s. And she dug up the Renaissance Resort and Casino
Perfect.
hotel and casino. They had an all-inclusive package. You didn't have to get it, but you could.
That's
And
nice.
so and she said, I've sent people there, and it's a very gay-friendly island. It's one of the
Which is
gayest,
important.
gay-friendly islands in the Caribbean, and she had sent a lot of gay couples there. They all raved about it. So we decided to go to Curaçao, which I'd never been to. So all of that leads into the fact that we didn't know it, but we got there on the week of Carnival.
Yay! We're talking big time partying, people.
Big time partying.
It's, for those of you who don't realize, Carnival and Mardi Gras are the same concept.
Yep.
Same time
Only-
of year, same.
Yep. Only Mardi Gras is 1 or 2 days, and Carnival on the islands can go 2 or 3 weeks.
Is it really that long? Wow.
It
I thought it was like
depends
a
on-
week or so, but
It depends on how it all breaks down. They said the Carnival next year will start and will go about over 3 weeks, that they'll have different events over the, not every day
Okay.
for 3 weeks, but they'll have different,
it's like the Olympics of partying.
so so we didn't know we were going to be there for Carnival.
Which is awesome.
The
Nice
place
surprise.
that we stayed, which we absolutely loved, and I have to tell you some stories out of there. We could walk out the door through the Riff Fort, right by the bay. There was a pontoon bridge that took you over into Williamston, and that was the tail end of the carnival parades. So we literally were a 5 to 6 minute walk to the parades.
Gotta love that.
So it could not have been more perfect. And in talking about creativity, I want to mention 2 or 3 things about the hotel and creativity.
Okay. Yeah, because that's not a place you would think of there being.
Well, first of all, and in fact, we're going to be Skyping him in. We're trying to make the arrangements right now. But a guy that is one of the chefs at the hotel actually heads up the team that participates in Miami in the International Caribbean Cook-Off Festival, and their team I
we're going to
think
be
won it
so
last
upset
year.
that we're not going to be able to taste anything through the television, guys.
So
Not
we're
fair.
trying to arrange it so we can have at least him and his team. But because I'm gluten-free, they went overboard. And sometimes Rich, the head chef, or this other guy who, Jiv, I can't pronounce his full name, but you just said call him Jiv, would make my meals with me.
So much better than cooking.
So like they had a pasta bar that you could create stuff, but they let me take things off of the regular like buffet and hand it to them, and we'd stand at and Jiv and I would create these things. I do the same thing with my omelet. Isabel, my omelet person, my regular omelet person.
Look at that. He knows the name of his omelet maker. And come on, that's
Okay.
That's an awesome vacation.
So like 10 or 12 of the people that were that we met at the hotel, some front desk, my tour goddesses, some of my regular wait staff,
Yep.
my omelet goddesses, my pasta goddesses, the head chef,
I
who
want a
2 or
pasta
3
goddess.
times made dinner for me when there was nothing on the buffet that worked, and would come up with something creative. And I think for creatives,
I bet they
it gives them an
must have
excuse.
loved it. Yeah.
Okay, all ended up on my Facebook page.
I was
became
about to
friends.
say, follow Dr. Kevin on Facebook, and you can go back and see those pictures because they are amazing. I have seen them.
And of these people, and then when it was time for us to leave, and in fact one of the things I'm going to show you, and we'll get a picture of it afterwards, more of a close-up. One of the waitresses that worked the bar, Monique, designed this card.
Okay, that's gorgeous. It's like string art?
And then it's like a needlepoint or
it's
string
needle.
art. So
This is exact work.
she designed this card on the computer, printed it out, and then did needlepoint, and she did a saying from the Tao,
Oh, hello.
Tao Te Ching,
On traveling and stuff.
on traveling, and created this card, which again we'll get a close-up of to show you. All fine needlework. This is Monique. who was
spirograph only.
Yes. One of our favorite bartenders, Luis, would make us specialty wedding drinks and would talk to us and then go create
Love
something.
potions.
He gave us a calendar. Our friend, our friend. That's what it felt like.
I was
friends.
about to say, you create community. That's part of who you are, and it's part of what we try to do here too. But it is, you end up creating like this own little family, little community when you're there.
Our breakfast, lunch, regular, I mean, because you switch over, so it's not every day. We were there for 10 days. But our
Somebody's gotta have a day
breakfast, breakfast lady, breakfast lunch woman, Solange, gave us a liqueur made only on the island, and not Curaçao, because we got some of that. We went
I've
to the
had
Curaçao
that.
fact. But this was another kind, just a little nip bottle and a couple of shot glasses from Curaçao. The staff are giving us we got bottles of champagne, we got roses, we got, it was incredible. And then we were there, 80-degree weather.
Talk about a gift.
It was just beautiful. And we got it all booked and had a great time. And like I said, we were there for Carnival. So we're going to be doing a couple of shows because I also, and we'll be doing this one on the next show, got a chance to meet an international artist that's from Curaçao named Yubi. And I interviewed a clip. I don't know how well it's going to come out, but I interviewed a clip.
For you guys.
2 or 3 little clips because he gave us a private tour of his gallery.
Wonderful.
So we're going to do a show to Yubi and some of the local artists. Because there is art in the alleys, there is art on the streets, there is art and color everywhere on this island. It is just stunning. So, but today we're going to start by doing a little bit of stuff with Carnival.
Which is like movable art.
Movable art, yeah, that's exactly. So we're going to start to switch to some of these pictures, and we're going to show them. So this is one of the floats. One of the things about
Speaking
Carnival...
of unicorns, well, actually, he doesn't have a horn.
That's a
but
Pegasus,
it's
yeah.
a Pegasus.
Curaçao's Carnival is one of the largest and longest-lasting carnival spectacles of the Caribbean and one of the best times to visit the island. Carnival began as a Catholic rite to represent the Christian practice of carne-leval,
Yes.
or giving up meat for Lent.
Yes, same root as carnivorous and things like that.
In the 19th century, Curaçao continued the tradition by organizing masquerade parties and marches in private clubs. It wasn't until 1969 that Curaçao Carnival started to gain the popularity it enjoys today.
That's right, because it ends with the beginning of Lent, where you give up meat and other
Fat Tuesday.
things you enjoy.
So that was a Pegasus. This is one of the outfits, and that's my husband, Jeff.
Look at that headdress. That's awesome.
Oh, and so many of these. So they have different groups. You can go on to another picture if you want. So they have different groups. And the groups decide, and some of these groups are like, we talked to somebody who was like 2,000 people in one group. They get together, they make the floats, they decide on what their individual theme is.
Oh, nice.
At first I thought it had to do with the different cultures. Because they have over 40 different cultures that have come together in Curaçao.
Wow.
The children now, and now look at the detail. They make these outfits, and each one is different. And there's kids, there's teens, there's a kids parade, there's a teen parade, there's an adult parade.
Wings there. That's incredible.
Yeah, we got a better shot of the wings at some point that I picked.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yep. So each one picks a theme every year, and we'll do a different thing. And so there was a lot of bling. They say bling is present in most of it.
Oh, goody.
But when you hear, and we're going to be playing some of the video that I shot, look at that headdress.
That's gorgeous. Just the colors and the bling, which always makes me happy.
But they have 4 basic languages that all kids have to learn.
4?
They learn Pimento, which is the local language.
Okay, I've never even heard of that one.
English.
That one I know.
Dutch, and Spanish.
I would not have guessed Dutch.
Well, it's the
Dutch
Antilles.
Antilles.
They're still
should have
part of.
guessed it,
They're
but-
still part of Holland. They have
And Dutch and Spanish and English bear no resemblance to each other.
no
So you are learning very distinct languages.
So look at these.
Colors, I
Now,
love it.
If you looked at the last one, it looked almost a little Indian.
Yes, yeah.
You look at this one, it looks much more like what you think of as Caribbean.
Yes, with the very brights and the pinks and the oranges and the
Yep.
greens and all of that.
And we move on to the next picture.
Pinocchio!
Now, there was a big, huge one group decided to recognize and do Pinocchio. And this thing,
And
look,
why not?
Yeah, look how big that Pinocchio
He
is.
is, yes, because you can see because she's there, you can see how big he is.
Yep. I
His
think-
details are actually very good. I like that they give them the freedom to choose their own theme.
Yep. And so at first I thought it might be culturally tied because some of the music sounded Spanish and some of the music sounded more Caribbean and some of it, so there was like this whole thing. But they said, nope, each group forms independently. They decide their theme, their music, they're sponsored. You're going to see some of the sponsors
Thank
on the
goodness,
thing.
because this has got to be months of work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've already started planning for the next
Next
carnival.
year, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Rose Bowl time, except they do get a theme.
Go ahead. This was done on the side of one of the portable things. Now this is most of this stuff is going to end up getting like thrown away or
Right,
recycled or whatever.
Very zen, doesn't last.
Doesn't last, but the detail.
I know, even the ladybugs.
Yeah. Continue.
Ah,
Another, again, look at the colors, the difference of the costumes.
yeah,
the use
and
of
all these
feathers.
things dangling and beaded and just
Yeah.
getting into that. It's got to be a little bit of a trick, just not to catch things and
Yep.
not to rip things every time you put it on. Wow.
There was a celebration to dragons.
Thank goodness. Oh, yay.
There we
Disco
go.
dragons. Look, there's a disco ball on him.
I think it's
love
supposed to
the
be as
purple
magical.
eye.
And that's the dragon. I'm not going to say dragon lord because it's a dragon lady.
It is.
Who's
Lady of the
doing it.
Dragon. Oh, look
Go
at
ahead and
it.
do the next one, please. And now
Look at that. She's in perpetual motion, you can see. There was just
Yep.
no way to get her without having a blur because
yep.
she was dancing in the streets.
Oh, there was a lot of dancing in the streets, and because we were at the end of the parade, they've been drinking all day.
They've been drinking and dancing in the streets. Wee-hee!
These parades go on for 3 or 4 hours.
Oh, you may as well drink.
They go miles.
Oh my
And we're
gosh.
at the end of the parade. I actually had
So-
some of the dancers when I was on the sidelines. I had one of the dancers actually stumble into me, and I had to catch him because he almost fell.
Oof.
So now we're going to actually see some of the video and some of the stuff. We're going to show
good.
those, and then we're going to go ahead and comment on those afterwards.
Alrighty.
So go ahead and roll the videos.
Roll tape.
So,
Don't you want to go? I mean, I'm ready to book next year. Next year in Curaçao.
those are about half the videos that I shot.
Oh, wow.
I didn't show them all to you. Some have varying quality. I shot them all on my iPhone.
There's a whole movie coming out that was shot on an iPhone, so
Yeah.
it's amazing what you can do with those.
And but you know, one of the things is you hear the music is very
Yes.
different, the costumes. We were pointing out some of them looked Indian.
Indian, and then you have the more Polynesian-looking ones. I mean, there's lots of influences, and it'd be interesting to hear what goes into the planning or the inspiration, but it's
Yep.
all so colorful and beautiful.
There was also a video which somehow I thought I sent, but I guess I didn't, which had a lot of and I'm going to see if they can, I'm going to resend it to them and see if they can drop it in. The largest group going was the group that was with the Pegasus that we saw at the beginning on the
yes.
picture. And they were all in like white Grecian Roman outfits.
Which makes sense with Pegasus.
Yep. And I have the video, and I had a video of that. I'm going to resend it to them because, you know, sending videos from your iPhone to do this. But, you know, every year, each group comes up with a different, how different, I don't know. This is my first carnival.
Yes, we'll have to go back and see and compare.
Well, you know, we'd like to go back, actually.
Can't blame you.
Like I said, we felt like we left some family behind. And, you know, staying in touch with some of these people and stuff like this. And one of the other things is that next year's carnival is like March 3rd.
Yeah, it changes, obviously. It moves.
It changes with where it is. And so depending on what the space difference is going up to Fat Tuesday, is how well they spread it. But they had they have a children's parade, they have an adult parade, they have a
really
teenager
adult-
parade. Well, every time they said they had an adult parade, I said, no, they have a big kid parade.
Yeah, that is big kids.
Because there was no adults present here.
No, those are big kids.
So those are big kids. But we had, and then they had the Grand Parade that had all of them. So Jeff and I were going to go watch the Grand Parade on the last night. It was supposed to get there at 9, and they said, well, it's island time, so don't even think it's going to get there till 10.
Island time.
We gave up a little after 11. We
Guess
finally,
by that point in the
yeah.
in the festivities, everything was just running really behind.
We had we also had we had tours the next day, and we were getting up in the morning.
Oh,
Because
okay.
one of the things we did is we had 3 days of downtime, 3 days of tours, and then 3 days of downtime.
I like that.
So that we kind of spread it out and got to do some different things
Yeah.
around the island.
And downtime, you know, one day of downtime and then one day, the downtime doesn't do any good. I like that you gave it, you know, at least a little chunk to do that with.
Yep. We got there Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We decided what tours we wanted to book. We slept in. The pool was really interesting. The pool was on the second floor, and they had created it as a sandy beach, and it had a beach bottom, and it brought in water from the Caribbean.
That's cool.
So it was salt water, but it went over to an edge, and it went off.
Oh,
and
like the
you
infinity
could,
pools.
And you could go, it wasn't, and you could go to there, and you were right looking down at the rocks in the Caribbean. The waves were coming right at you.
So beautiful.
So it was definitely beautiful. But we had tours the next morning, so we were like, okay, it's 11 o'clock. We're just calling it. And
Island time or no island time.
yep. It turned out it got there around 1, I think. Yeah.
Do it not expand. Originally time 9. Show up time 1. That's
Yeah. It was really island. It was real island time.
3 islands away time.
Yeah. Well, what I kept on saying to everybody is I kept on going. The next day they say, did you see the closing Grand Parade? And I was like, you know, I figured that by the time that parade got there, it was going to be 2019 Fat Tuesday.
It was the beginning of the next one.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Instead of ending this one, it's beginning that one.
And it would be Fat Tuesday on a diet. They'd be so thin you couldn't have nothing left.
Nothing left.
Nothing left.
That's so sad.
So one of the other things that we're going to share is we're going to share one more video. And I'm going to reference the video, and then I'm going to show you a few things.
All
and
right.
then we're going to wrap up this part one.
Okay.
Then we're going to do a part two on the artist and art around
Which is
Curaçao.
awesome, yeah.
And so we're going to be seeing a little clip from The Goods,
good.
Which is a store that's right on Williamston.
Mm-hmm.
This couple, Ethan and Patrick, who came over from the Netherlands and opened this shop to support and promote local artists.
Hey, that sounds familiar.
Local arts and artists, because you can go there and you can get all sorts of stuff made in India and China and all over the place.
That's not what you're traveling for.
Which is not really, it's not benefiting the local artist.
Oh, God, no, right.
So
This is our dragons and unicorns counterparts in Curaçao.
Yes. So I did a little brief video with them.
Wonderful.
We're going to take a second and watch that video. So can you tell how nice they were?
Oh my gosh.
Sweet.
No wonder you're gonna go back, or we have to bring them here, or something, or back to that Skype thing.
Yeah, a sweet couple. But I want to show you a few things that we got there at the store.
Okay.
So they did have this Desert Rose body bar made of organic coconut oil called Douchey.
Oh,
This week.
sweetheart.
This one
We
is
all learned that.
This one is Desert Rose.
Ooh, that's nice. It's strong, which means like when you when you wash with it, it won't be as strong because soaps need to start strong. Otherwise, you just don't notice it.
And so that's the one I bought. Mm-hmm. This was Jeff's. That was called Serenity.
Ooh, that's a much softer. Can be irritating for the eyes. Only for external use. It's soap, people. I love when they tell you these things. Handmade in Curaçao. That's wonderful. I love that.
They had all sorts of stuff at this shop. You saw in the video, we showed a few things on the walls, but they had every kind of, they had essential oils and they had foods and they had a little bit of everything. It wasn't a huge shop, but they had a little bit of everything.
But I always encourage people to do that when you're traveling, whether it's, even locally, look for those artisan shops. Ooh.
Pretty.
It's pretty. Is it as light as it looks? Oh my God, it is. It weighs like nothing. Oh, wow. You guys see that? If I put my hand behind it, you'll be able to see how much intricacy is in that.
Yes.
That is lovely.
Yep.
Is that going to go on a holiday tree someday?
Yes. Right now, actually, I've got it hanging on the wall in our house.
Well, I was about to say, then it doesn't have to come out once a year. It can just be
Yeah.
out.
And they also had little samplers of the soaps and stuff like this. And then I got, which I don't have with me, but I'll be wearing for the next show, part 2, a wooden bow tie that was made there.
I saw that behind the scenes. I was wondering what that was.
Yes, that's a wooden bow tie. And then Patrick and Ethan, because we were there for our honeymoon, gave us a limited edition
Aww.
heart Doucey soap. This one doesn't really have much
No,
smell.
very mild.
No, very mild.
Sweeter.
But we'll make sure that
It's got hearts.
It's got a little heart on it. We'll make sure we get a picture of all of these different things that we got there, whether it was made from the staff or made at the store. But they're there. They're right on what we call Broadway, but it's pronounced Breedway.
Oh, okay. So in Curaçao, go visit.
Yeah.
When in Curaçao, that's it.
When in Curaçao. At Williamstead.
Guests of the Renaissance.
And then there's this thing on Thursday nights called Puna Vibe. And they have dancing and bands playing, like in the downtown part of Williamstead, which is all colorful. And there's a whole story behind that. But is all colorful. All the buildings are painted differently. They have street dancers. And I didn't bring the video of the street dancers because actually, we only have pictures of the street dancers.
Go check them out on Facebook.
But because I got dragged up to dance with the street dancers
Yay!
in their very Caribbean type of costumes and doing the little dance numbers and stuff like this. But every Thursday night there, so like you go into this, you go across the pontoon bridge, which is absolutely beautiful. At night, there's a picture that you'll see probably next show of it, all lit up and the colors change. And it's a real pontoon bridge.
Ooh.
So it floats on the
You're
water.
Gonna need some balance, boys and girls.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
No?
Just,
Okay.
No. We walked it every night. Every night after we ate, if just to like post-digestive walk, walking
this.
in the moonlight across the bay on the pontoon bridge with the
That's so honeymoon.
yes. But so we would go from the hotel, we would go by all of the daylight street vendors. Some of them were there actually sawing the wood and painting things and selling them and all sorts of stuff. And then we would go over
Art
the
in
pontoon
action.
bridge. Absolutely. And there was a whole row of restaurants that were right on the water. And there was this big, huge heart, which we'll see next time, and I'll tell you the story behind the heart
goody.
next time. But then you walk down the streets, and down 3 different alleyways were 3 different bands all playing that were far enough apart, dancing in the streets with all of them. The
Gotta
shop
love it.
stayed open late. The professional dance troupe would dance for one and then go dance for another. They danced at our hotel before we left. They were there
Aw.
doing a local dance number and stuff like this. And then you had all sorts of street vendors with all sorts of stuff that they
Oh my
had
God,
made.
talk about a
and
party that never
sold.
ends.
Yep. I mean, it's called Puna Vibe, and it's every Thursday night.
We got to bring that tradition up here.
Yep. So I thought it was really great. And then I found this bag, which I just fell in love with. You have to look at it.
Willywood.
Willywood. Willywood is a section on Curaçao where they were doing some filming, and they did some filming there. And again, we'll get a closer look at the bag, I'm sure, with all the flamingos on it.
That's lovely.
This was made there by a local.
Oh, and it's signed inside.
Signed by the
dated.
artist, yes.
I love this. Like, little sparkle there. Little
Yep.
brightness.
Well, the
Beadwork.
island is all about bling. It is the island
I
of
would be
bling.
so happy there.
Yes, yes, you would.
I do. I love my sparkle.
And you know,
That's great. It's a little go-to bag. Crossbody and
when they showed the when they were taping the movie, they said, "Oh, we should come up with this." They were, I think it was the movie's called Redemption, but it was about the uprise of the slaves that overthrew slavery in Curaçao.
Oh, okay.
And Danny
That's
Glover
important.
was in it. And they have all of these statues on the island. I think I might have some pictures for the next show of it's this big fist hand, which I think is interesting. It's holding a broken shackle, and any place that was important for the movement, for the slavery movement, they have one of these statues. And
Oh, that's nice
So
to
it's
mark it.
like it's tall. It's like probably 10 feet. And
Wow.
it's on a column, and then there's a hand clenching, and it's got a broken shackle.
so every part that's part of it, you can note it. There we go.
That something happened here,
Here.
because when the slaves got tired of being mistreated, and they started to go towards Williamsted, to where the local the government was functioning out of, they sent the priest to talk to them to convince them that they should go back.
Go back to servitude. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I don't. I
We won't get into that part.
yeah. I have a lot of difficulty with an island that's 80% Roman Catholic, when the large majority of the population that's there were enslaved, were treated badly by the church, were tried to convince that they should stay as slaves. They're all this stuff, and they're 80% Roman Catholic. And I'm like, What did that church ever do for you?
You know, it's amazing, and we talked about this on another show. And I had brought up England as the one during the colonization, but it really was the church in all its various forms and all its various countries that did a lot of that work and got rid of all these fairy tales and folk tales and stuff like that because they were heathen in nature and not biblical. And so, yeah, it's interesting though that the religion stays even after the colonization or the leadership changes.
Yep. Completely confused me. But anyways, when they were taping the movie, they said, "Oh, we should name this section," and somebody said, "You know,
Instead of Hollywood, it got
Willywood."
there. You go.
So I bought this.
But would
Willywood.
Willie?
Yes. I don't know whether Willie would or wouldn't.
Has to be asked. That's beautiful though.
Would Willie woodchuck if a woodchuck could chuck? I don't know. Willie? Woody? Woody? What? How much Willie would a wood if a Willie would could would?
Nice flamingos.
Willie? There is a, I've got pictures on the Facebook, but I don't have any here to come up on the screen. But they do have a flamenco breeding ground there. So we went and saw the live flamingos.
They're amazing in person.
Natural habitat.
They're so unnatural looking though.
Yeah.
They're so bizarre. I mean, they're bizarre in pictures too, obviously, but when you actually see them, they're just like startling. Beautiful, but startling.
So that's part one. Part two, we're going to be wrapping this one down. But in part two,
Stay tuned.
stay tuned. I'm going to be interviewing international artists. His name is Hubert, but he goes by Yubi.
Okay.
And they spell it Y-U-B-I. And in fact, they named a traffic circle after him where he has two huge sculptures, one of an iguana, silver, and then another one of just a big set of arches that are all made out of recycle.
Oh, I love it.
This man's theme is "Your trash is my cash." So we have an interview with him coming up.
Excellent.
I'm going to be showing you some of the street art, some of the art in the alleys, some of the art in.
That's
we went to a place called the Hato Caves. We're going to get to that where we have some 10,000-year-old art that I'll show you. Magnificent history. And so we're going to do another part of this show. Continued in Curaçao, but I couldn't recommend it more highly. Everything from the minute we arrived, and there are pictures you'll see next time of the place where we arrived.
Excellent.
Until the moment we left. This is a culture, and it's interesting. It's like a mini United States from the standpoint of it has a mix of so many cultures.
That's great.
They say if you can speak Spanish, German, English, and Dutch, that you can speak pimento, because that's at different times it was
who was the ruling party, right?
And so the local thing
It all got blended in.
all got blended in.
Because English isn't enough of a mess. We're going to blend in more languages.
Well, and it didn't start as English.
It didn't. No, so
Nope,
there you go.
Nope. So we want to thank you for joining us on Dragons
Unicorns.
and Other Creative Creatures.
Really colorful creatures.
Really colorful creatures.
These are gorgeous.
I know. Would you not want some of those costumes?
I don't know where I'd wear them, but I'd look for a chance.
Well, you know, Jeff kept on thinking we should bring the pontoon bridge back to Nashua.
Good luck with that.
You know, find a place to
For the pontoon bridge?
Yeah, for a top pontoon bridge.
Okay.
You know, and again, you know, we do Halloween one night a year. People dress up in costume.
I know people who'd be happy to celebrate it for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, you know, some of the things going on, I think it's really great. This is a vibrant, friendly, loving, accepting culture.
That's wonderful.
And stay tuned for part 2 of Arts in Curaçao here on Dragons, Unicorns, and Other Creative Creatures. Namaste.